better. Yeah, there's a lot of noise in the background. You know, if we were just outside, we could probably leave the mic like. There we go, right there.
Right.
Oh, now it's perfect.
Perfect.
Now we can hear you. Okay, do we have the camera on him? It was all sideways. Let's see. All right, so this is Joel Pirchesky here. And Joel is the founder and CEO of Blue Pella.
The One World Blue Corporation.
Right there. So, while Bryan is going to make a drink, it's kind of weird. I'm trying to set this up. I don't know why our third camera isn't working. We have the third one, but like everything's so super bright and we can't seem to get it fixed. So I'm like, all right, let's start the show already before it's like dark. So anyway, Joel, welcome, my man.
It's good to be here.
Yes, and I've already, told the people that I am officially, as of today, a shareholder and a board member of Blue Pella.
You a member of the LLC?
Yes, that's right. So, I figured it's only fair that they know.
It's perfect.
Yes. So, Joel, welcome.
It's
How
great
did
to be
you
here.
How did you come up with the idea for Blue Pella and the name and everything else? Like, let's start with the idea itself. Hang on one second. I'm gonna get this right. I swear. I just don't want you like looking all crooked. This camera is killing me. You know what? Could you, if you could come out a little bit more, because the bar is like right in the middle. Kind of go that way. Yeah, there we go. That's good. That's good. All right, now we're talking. Okay, so everybody, this is Joel. How did you come up with the idea for Blue Pella?
So Blue Pella has been a project for the past several years. It started I founded the corporation in 2006. The first site we made was in 2006. The name was registered in 2005. The LLC was established in 2008. It was a process of several years of work. Really, around 2010 is the time when I came up with the idea for the current project that we have now called BluePella.com. It took about 4 years for research, design, development, investment, and implementation in the project of BluePella.com. The corporation is called One World Blue, and the brand is Blue Pella. Originally, the first site I had was OneWorldBlue.com, and then we decided to make a shorter domain name, and we came up with the name Blue Pella, BluePella.com.
And why'd you Blue Pella? That sounds like such an odd word.
It's the name we came up with. Yeah,
Why? Where's that come from?
It doesn't have any specific meaning to it, honestly.
Okay.
If you want to say though, we did find that there's a bird in New Guinea called the Blue Pella bird, and it's endangered.
Oh.
So
it kind of works with Blue Pella.
Yes, it works.
See, Blue Pella is kind of like the goody two-shoe of fundraising sites, so to speak. If you want to do something good, like in other words, if I just wanted to, raise money for an album, like I want to go in the studio and do an album, Blue Pella wouldn't be for me. But if
it would be for you.
Well, let me finish. But if I decided that I want to create the album and sell the profits, the proceeds to help a village or a tribe in Africa or a third world country or something like that, then Blue Pella would be for you, correct?
If it has some potential good impact, social impact in the world, it's for you.
Right, but I'm saying if I just want to be selfish and just
you
do
just
an album
raise
and not
money
pay for
for
it,
a
then,
project
that's not for you.
Just for profit, no.
Yeah, then you got to go fund me or whatever, any of those other sites. That's
so
what
Blue Pella is about creating goodness in the world. We host projects and profiles that do some positive change. They heal the world in some positive way, and they create socially good, social justice, and social good in the world. So we're all both about crowdfunding and also social media. We're branded as the social network for social change, helping to create social change in our society and planet.
So you haven't given up on humanity yet?
No, I have not.
Most people they're just like, oh, please stop the world. I want to get off. You're still okay with the merry-go-round or the roundabout?
I believe with one step at a time, we can make change in the world. It doesn't mean that we're going to finish it.
No.
We just have to start the process.
Look, the world's always going to be crazy.
Correct.
But if we can kind of, find the good people and give them sort of networking, that's the idea, right? To get good people networking, give them a place to network. Because like you go on Facebook. I mean, I use Facebook. Everybody uses Facebook. But let's face it, like 90% of the people on there are complaining about something. That's kind of what it is. That's human nature.
Imagine the power that Facebook would have if it was just for goodness in the world. The power of just goodness in the world with Facebook.
Right. So that's sort of that's what we want to bring across is that, if you got a good project, if you want to help even if even small things. I mean, because people always like. Let's say you have an old disabled gentleman in your neighborhood somewhere, right? And he's stuck. He's got nobody helping him. No kids around. Maybe neighborhood kids want to buy some paint to repaint his garage and fix up his house a little bit. They could use Blue Pella for that.
They certainly could.
That'd be ideal.
They certainly could.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that Facebook met Reddit and Kickstarter in one place.
Yeah.
This is like BluePella.com.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah. Facebook meets Reddit and Kickstarter in one place. That's BluePella.com.
Yeah.
I like to bring a few examples. In 2010, the World Bank declared that over 2 billion people live on less than $2 a day.
That's true.
Less than $2 a day. That's 5 years ago, and not much has changed. Not much. Also, ethnic cleansing is not a thing of the past.
No,
the
it's
war in
not.
Sudan lasted over 20 years, took 2.5 million lives, and displaced more than 5 million people. So what is the solution we're proposing? To create a globally moderated forum that brings people together to stand and unite for projects for the common good and to help create a better world.
Yeah.
That's BluePella.com.
So what did I miss?
That's it. Well, we were just talking about Blue Pella. Basically what it's about, what it's for and what it's really not for, etc. I just want to, it's kind of funny. I mean, I always tell people that, with your mental outlook, sort of the way you look at the world is the type of people you're going to meet. So if you think like the world is nothing but scumbags, you're probably going to meet nothing but scumbags. And you're going to attract scumbags.
That's how I met you.
That's right. Amazing. But,
kidding.
I sort of, no, he's
Kind
not.
of.
No, he's not. But I've always had a positive outlook on people. I really have. I mean, there are days where I can't stand people. There really are. Well, you read the news stories, man. Some of them you just can't get away from. You're like, oh God, here goes humanity again. And we make fun of people a lot on this show. That's what we do, because just humans do dumb things, really, really dumb things, and it makes us laugh. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Sometimes the world is so bad, all you can do is laugh. Just laugh at it and then move on.
That is all I ever do.
That's right. But most of the time I'm positive. I look for the goodness in people. I really do. And you get burnt quite often that way. But it's okay, because once somebody crosses me, then they're on my X list. They're done. You can't trust that person ever again. But I'm willing to give anybody the benefit of the doubt, And it was kind of funny because I somehow I end up meeting a lot of people who are like-minded. It's like how you and I met.
Right.
What was that, about a year ago? Was it,
Right.
give or take? Yeah, a little
About
over
a year
a
ago.
little over a year. I was out hand cycling. I just got out of hospital. The weather just finally got decent. And I'm out there circling, riding in my neighborhood in my hand cycle. And I come down your street, and I go to make the left, and there's Joel walking his dog.
Connie.
Yes. And we just kind of got to talking. It was one of those like, how you doing? And then I think you asked me what that is,
Right.
which I get a lot. Everybody's like, what is that? Or the other one I get, is that hard? I'm like, no, not at all. So you asked me what it was. The next thing I know, I'm telling you what I'm doing about the world, around the world, and you're telling me what you're doing with Bupella, and we're both like, these.
And I kept saying,
They go
until
together.
at some point you're going to come to a meeting, you're going to come to a meeting.
Right.
And some time went by, and then you came to the meeting.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
And where we have a really, really cool group of guys and women there. Everybody from Jonathan and Nate, and I can't name everybody there. Just off the top of my head, they bounced out. They do fantastic work, and they're really, really cool guys. Many of them, like Nate, for example, owns his own tea shop up in Squirrel Hill.
Dober Tea.
Yeah, Dobra Tea. Who was the other one? Who does the aquariums? Gary.
Gary Linder.
Yes, he's the aquarium man.
He's our director now for Planet Sanctuary.
Yeah, and which, by the way, we just started, right? We just
We just launched Planet Sanctuary.
Yes.
So Blue Pella, and so your project around the world is perfect for Blue Pella
yes.
because it's for social good. You're gonna
You're
gonna to go around the world, and your goal is to raise $100 million
At least.
for charities. So that is, of course, going to create a great social impact.
Oh yeah.
So that's a perfect project for BluePella.com.
Yeah.
Some other projects we have are
We're not saying you got to go this level.
No. Some other projects we have are Radio Taboo. We just launched a campaign for Radio Taboo.
Yes, I saw that.
This is where Issa Naifaga, he's a political cartoonist that worked in Cameroon for many years. In the 90s, he was jailed several times. They tortured him. One time he got out of jail, he fled to France. He was in France for about 10 years, and then
Where's he in Africa? North Africa, I guess.
Cameroon.
Oh, Cameroon. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Then he eventually moved. He moved from France to America. He lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico now. He's been allowed to go back to Cameroon in the past several years, and he has taken on a project to build a radio tower in the rain. in the rainforest,
Uh-huh.
in his village, that will reach 1 million people in the rainforest.
Nice.
And all for what? For social change and for education. His philosophy is art through art, social change through art.
Yeah.
Using
That's
art,
awesome.
art for social change.
Well, then they'll also need to get a bunch of radios down there.
They have.
Yeah.
Oh.
They have. Because he
Okay.
says, so Issa says, that's a good
That would
question.
make sense.
Issa, that's a good question. Issa says, the first thing that people buy.
I figured it wouldn't be just a pointless thing. I,
No,
just,
right.
I just wanted to know.
No, the first
No,
thing,
that's a good question.
it's a very good question. First thing people buy is a machete to work when they work in the fields. Second thing they buy is a cell phone. Third thing they buy is a radio. In that order, according to Issa.
Wow.
Issa's also been able to raise money to donate 500 wheelchairs to people and children that have
That's
polio
awesome. That's awesome.
in Cameroon.
I can't believe polio
So-
is still around.
It is.
Seriously, I mean,
It is
you know,
not-
I
it
know,
is.
but I mean, it's just baffling that some of these things are still around.
It is.
Like, what was it, Eisenhower? Which one was the one who had polio? FDR? FDR. I think it was, FDR who had polio. That was what, 1928? You know what I mean? It's been like almost 100 years, and we still have polio.
So my point being, so around the world, Issa and I Faga's Radio Taboo to build a radio tower in the rainforest. Another project we have is for Hanifa Nikirok for Sarasov.org. Hanifa is a survivor of an acid attack.
Yes, I was going to ask about her. Yes.
Hanifa is a survivor of an acid attack that
She's from
was
Nigeria?
From Uganda.
Uganda, that's where it was, yeah.
She's a survivor of an acid attack from they believe from her strange
what?
husband.
While
I think I've
Joel's
heard
talking,
that story before.
while Joel's talking, why don't you bring up Blue Pillow website, just bluepillow.com.
I was going to throw that up earlier.
Yeah. No, let's throw that up, and then we can actually show the
Sure.
people, show her. I mean, she was a beautiful woman, absolutely gorgeous.
So she's a survivor of this acid attack.
What did she
you
want to
want me
do?
to
She
bring
wanted to
up
leave
the
her
website?
abusive husband, right?
Her story was she has a master's in economics. She's married, has 2 children. She wanted to work. Her husband didn't want her to work. He said, if you work, we're going to get separated and divorced. She says, I still want to work. So she went to work. They started to get separated. And one weekend when she was coming back to get her children, this happened to her. The security guard at the apartment was not there. She came to pick up her children. And unfortunately, in some countries in Uganda and other parts of the Middle East and the world, they use sulfuric acid as a weapon
Yes.
against
That's
either
sick.
political, gender violence.
You know what they do? They hire
So
children.
what am I looking for here on the
We're
website?
looking for scroll up or down, up, I guess, whatever. Just where, she
There's a light of the world about it, right?
There's a spotlight about her. There's also if you.
Which
she's
one do you wanna
also,
put
Hanifa, the one about her. She's
Well, he's
sitting
not
at-
going to know how to spell that name.
Sitting at a desk.
Yeah, I know,
Hanifa's
but
sitting
she's not on the front page. Is she? Which one do you want to put up? The spotlight? Light
Pull
of
up
the world?
Sarasov. Search Sarasov. Ceresav.
Yeah, there we go.
ESAV. Sarasov.
Yeah, it's a weird name to remember.
This is the organization that Hanifa
It's an
found.
acronym. It's an
This
acronym.
is the
for what
organization
they
that Hanifa founded in
there's
Uganda.
Sarasov.org.
do. Yeah, that's her right there.
Okay.
She has also been the recipient of an award for facial surgery from the company FaceForward.inc. And she's been in Los Angeles.
They just did it in Hollywood. They just
in
did,
Hollywood for the
some-
last several months. Last 6 months she's been in Hollywood getting surgery done, and she's now coming.
They know facial reconstruction in Hollywood.
Yeah, so she's been the recipient of this award. They choose one person a year to do our reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
And they chose her this year. So she's had that done in the last 6 months. She's now coming to Pittsburgh and going to school in the fall at GISPIA, the Graduate School of Public International Affairs at the University of Pittsburgh, getting her degree in human security. And she will be getting her another master's degree and continue to work her work with Sarasov.org.
So there's going to be a fundraiser for her.
There's a
here,
fundraiser June 21st, Sunday, June 21st at Road of Shalom
Squirrel
Temple. It's on 5th Avenue.
It's right here in heart of Squirrel.
Not Squirrel Hill. It's in 5th Avenue in Oakland.
Oh, it's actually considered open?
Yes.
Okay.
Road-
My dad's ex-girlfriend actually works there.
Road of
Or
Shalom
used
is
to.
on 5th Avenue in Oakland. Sunday, June 21st. And from 4 to 7 p.m. we have a fundraiser for her Human Security Education Fund.
And the Grenadis are going to be entertaining there.
Granati Brothers will be playing there, and also Yamusa Camera from Camera Drum and Dance.
All right, I'm posting up the link under the
Yeah, I was
description. So
I wanted to show her a picture as well, but that's okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to put the link in there.
Yeah,
so
it was
people
actually
can
that
just click
that
right on
story.
it.
I mean, if you the cool thing about when you go to Blue Pella is you get videos. You can watch little videos.
You can
and
watch
everything.
videos. So
You watch a video of her. They actually did a documentary,
Pauline Greenlick has worked with her to do a documentary, correct?
Yep. And you know, I remember watching a documentary and thinking I was pretty thoroughly disgusted. I mean, you know, how many countries children are being used for different attacks? You know, whether it's a suicide attack or this, or whether it's a you know, in this case, apparently teenagers are the number one attackers. I guess they're basically, it's very poor. What they do is like everywhere the poor is just being exploited. And they find they go into the poor neighborhoods, find these teenage kids, and they offer them whatever, some money to go.
The website's up on the screen.
Oh, cool. Thank you. To go and attack a certain person. So all these teenagers, basically in Uganda, are for hire to do this thing. And I mean, I can't even imagine. You know, I've dealt with acid when I was in high school. I couldn't imagine you know, like I can't even imagine myself walking up to somebody and splashing, like taking his glass and throwing it into your face with acid. I mean, to me, that's so low. Do you know what I mean? That's so low. There's like no honor in that. But you know, if you're hungry,
We can play the video if you want.
I don't know if we can mute ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Let me just say a few more things about BluePillow.com. First of all, we are not just crowdfunding, raising money for projects for both nonprofit and for-profit ventures. We're also about social media, so social network for social change. We have the Light in the World module about spotlighting people who've done things to help change the world for the good. We also have Planet Sanctuary about highlighting the beauty of the planet and also showcasing endangered species and habitats that need protected. And we also have the module of Light of Culture, which is about spotlighting cultures around the world with the one intention, and that is to celebrate diversity.
Yes.
Why? Why so? Why?
Because it would be awfully dull if everybody was just like me.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. You know
I
what's
disagree.
funny? Well,
I
you're
think
right.
the more
Okay.
people like
Maybe
me,
I'm not.
the world would be pretty insane.
So the last module that we will build is called Overture to Peace. We haven't built that yet, but we will be doing that.
Do we have a date set up for release?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
But we'll be working towards that. Our future designs are working towards that now. This will be a way to help resolve conflicts between people with online dialogue communications. So if you can imagine.
So you're gonna get like Christian group
person.
together with like a Hebrew group or Jews with Muslims, whatnot.
It can be family to family.
Oh, okay. So much wider than just religion or nationality.
It could be communities of people, communities, cultures, people.
Wait, you're going to tell me that a Steelers fan and a Browns fan is going to sit
correct.
down and we're going to get them to be
Online.
peaceful on here at Blue Fella? Man, that's something.
That's something.
I think you're going to have peace between Jews and Arabs before you have peace between Steelers and Browns fans.
We're on to something. We're on to something.
Yeah, that's funny.
So you also
That's a good idea, though. It really is, because most sites don't. I don't know. Maybe there is another place that does something like that. I don't know of it, though. So
you also said you want to know a little bit about me, my background.
yeah, absolutely, man.
You told me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not just about Blue Pella.
Right. So I grew up in the town in the Mon Valley in a place called Craven Hill.
Mon Valley, Monongahela?
Yes, between Monongahela.
That's where I bought my motorcycle.
Okay.
And also, you know who else is from there?
Who?
Joe Montana.
Montana.
That's right, Joe Montana.
Of course I know that.
Of course you know that.
Yeah. So Craven Hill's between Monongahela and Charleroi, so this little town called Craven Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And my father owned a scrap metal company when I was growing up. I left there when I was about 14, moved to Squirrel Hill, went to Alderdice.
Were there a lot of Jews out there?
No. There was
Yeah,
not.
I was going to say, man.
That was part of the...
You were probably pretty isolated.
Part of the branding of how I've become probably molded into who I am today.
So now you live in the Mecca.
Started
Uh-huh.
from there. I mean, I was actually, I'm Jewish, and actually was, unfortunately, I guess probably the brunt of some
Were you
jokes.
religious growing up or no?
Conservative.
Okay.
But I
See, I'm not.
I experienced a lot of, the kids teased me and whatnot, and that helped to really kind of shape me who I am today, because I started to realize to be sensitive about all people in the world and all diversity, all cultures and all people. We should all be living in peace together. So that was the beginning of, and then I did write a letter, actually. Can you pull up at the bottom of the screen?
On the Blue Pella?
On Blue Pella. Look at the bottom. It says peace in the world.
Is it under like accounts?
On the very, very bottom of the screen.
I see it.
So I wrote this letter when I was in elementary school, in the 4th or 5th grade. I don't remember which grade.
Where were you at? Where were you at in school?
Monongahela Elementary Center.
Okay.
Yes. So
the town is so small that the school is named after the name.
So this letter actually is on.
That's
the
where you
site.
know you were in a small town.
This letter was written when I was in the 4th or 5th grade. I still have the original handwriting, the letter in the original handwriting, and I would like you to, Attila, I'd like you to read it.
Okay. Actually, why don't you read it? It's I don't have it on my screen.
I can't see it.
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, Bryan can read it. Pressure. Besides,
Well,
I'm
okay.
dyslexic, man. It takes me forever to read, especially after I have a
see it?
beer.
Yeah, I have it up on the screen right now.
Damn, could the font be any smaller?
Yeah.
Hit Control Plus.
Yeah.
Could,
It's like I feel like he's reading Bugs Bunny. You know, when you need Bugs Bunny vision to read.
I just want to make sure
There you
people.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Peace
now
in the
people
world?
can read it who
Peace
are
in the world?
watching right now.
Yes,
so-
please.
Oh, cool. You have it up for everybody.
Can you
Mhm.
read
Even
it?
better. Yes, you go ahead, read it. Come on.
Go,
I'm
Bryan.
terrible at reading stuff. I
Want me
never
to
did
read
this
it?
in school.
I'm dyslexic.
I'll read it. If you, is there somehow I
We should
can,
get Leanna to read it.
I could
What?
copy
Yeah.
this link.
can I see it?
Come on, we need a sexy female voice. It's all guys on here, man. It's like a sausage fest on this show.
I can read it. I can read it. Maybe not.
If you
What's
pull,
Whoa, Dawn's gonna read it. You ready to read, Dawn? Turn it her way.
pull
Dawn
it up
can
on
read
your
it.
phone.
What am I doing?
You're gonna read this for us.
Pull it up on your phone. I'll read
What am I doing?
Meanwhile, people watching are just reading the screen.
They probably read it like 3 times. They're like, all right, we read it. Go ahead. You know what? Screw it. You're done. Read that.
Yeah,
Turn
just-
the laptop her way, and she can read that.
What kind of voice?
A sec.
It should work
In theory.
in theory.
I'll tell you, that's a beautiful thing with electronics. If it could go wrong, there's a good chance it probably will.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry in like 10 years, at least. He does like special effects and things like that for movies. He just
Oh, yeah?
did. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He just did. What was the name of it? It's
Oh,
actually.
there we go. We're back up. We're back on. We're live.
Oh, we're live. Ooh,
We're
we're back.
back.
Okay, well, bring up the screen so I can aim the cameras. I don't know where it's. I might have a zoom up of Joel's eye or something. Ah, here we go. All right, perfect.
Hey, look, the other
Looks super
camera's
dark.
on you.
Yeah, it's kind of dark. Yeah, okay.
That's
now you can
because
kind of see me, but it looks
I made it
super
really
dark.
dark earlier, so to compensate. Now it's just super dark because
It's all good.
darker
It's all
outside.
good. It's all good.
Whatever.
But so
works.
while you guys were gone, or while we were gone, we were trying to get this thing back on. Joel was kind enough; he didn't leave us, so he's still here. He just sat here and stared at me with a creepy look the whole time. I think is that called the evil eye? Is that what he's giving me? I don't know. No. All right. So as I was saying, Henry just did effects for a movie that deals with gun violence and everything in Africa. You know how you have like remember we even talked about this at the one meeting. Who's the professor who was
Dr. Picard.
yes, he and his wife
Paul.
worked with like what was it, the God's Army and
Lord's Resistance Army. That didn't work with them, but
No, not for them, but
in
I mean-
Uganda, it was a common practice where the Lord's Resistance Army would take young boys.
yes.
They're trying to
were
distract me
12,
over there,
13
sorry.
years old, and the way they got them in the army was they would make them kill their parents,
Yes,
and siblings,
yes.
and then they would bring them into the army. Then they would never want to be able to go back to their village.
Right. That's exactly what this movie's about. And it's I think
So
it's,
that's actually a perfect intro to me reading my letter.
Yes,
that I-
there you
that
go,
I-
please.
That I wrote when I was in elementary
that,
school.
that most of you probably already read, but now we're gonna
So
have Joel
now,
read
now
it.
I'm going to read the letter. It's called.
Read it
so-
like you were,
so
10 years old.
I wrote this when I was in elementary school. It's entitled "Peace in the World," and I was probably in 4th or 5th grade.
You can turn it sideways. The font will be bigger.
It's okay.
Okay.
So it says like this. It says, "I have a dream that the world would be better and a safe place to live. Children should not be afraid to be without their parents. They should not be worried about being kidnapped. People should realize that they should not hurt anyone and try to understand what they are doing. I think it is very meaningless to have war. It is senseless to fight and kill one another. God did not put people on earth to fight, argue, or hurt each other. Poverty is very harmful and cruel to people. It can sometimes kill a person. It would be nice if poor people did not have to go to bed hungry. Robbery scares me a whole lot, and I'm sure it scares a lot of other people too. People are sometimes shot and killed because they protect their belongings. Probably, if people had the things they needed, there would be no more robberies. It is a shame that people are so terrified about hijacks on a plane that they don't even go on them." This was back in the 80s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That was all the rage.
exactly. "I hope in the future people will be able to go on a plane without worrying about a hijack. If people
And then 9/11 happened.
If people try and work together, they can make this world a better one. I'm willing to try. Are you?"
That's good.
So I wrote that.
Th-
when
that
I was
was-
in
you were in
elementary
4th grade?
school, 4th or 5th grade.
No, cool.
And so basically,
But you can see that the seeds were there.
you could see that.
Did you get an
that
A?
I don't remember. Probably. I did well in school when I was younger.
Were kids cheating off you in Monongahela
No.
It's back up on the screen.
for math class?
No.
Just in case people can't hear, it's back up on the screen. You can
What
read
is-
it, but you can't
Oh,
hear me
yeah,
saying
there
this
you go.
now, so it's kind of pointless.
Right on, right on.
Anyway, okay.
So
I'll take
and
it
then
back.
and then we
No,
also
I
have
can
on
see
the
it
site
again.
something else called Social Network and Social Change, which is the branding of our site. And I wrote a short essay about this. I'm not going to read it, but you can pull it up. It's
I
on the
can pull
bottom
it
of
up
the screen. It
and-
says Social Network
Look,
and
you can
Social
actually
Change.
see me. I love it.
I'm pulling it
But
up
in
right
the
now.
letter, actually, in the letter it says, in this essay that I wrote, one of the things I wrote about was my good friend Tempa Lama. He said to me in our discussion, Tempa Lama is an advisor to One World Blue and a good friend of mine. He's the director of the Bond Institute in Greenfield, and he's a Lama from Tibet, from Nepal. I've known him for almost 10 years, for many years. He's one of the advisors and a good friend of mine. He said to me in our discussions one day, he said, Joel, do you realize that right now, as we speak, someone has a gun pointed at another person's head? And after he said it to me, I thought about it. I stepped back and said, you know what? He's right. Someone does have a gun.
Someone just died.
Right now.
And-
right now.
and two people were just born.
Right now, someone has a gun pointed at another person's head. But the truth is, someone will pull the trigger, too.
Of course.
They're pulling the trigger
Of
right
course.
now.
Yeah, I got news for
So-
people. Like, the world isn't a pretty place, you know, but we're trying to make it a little cleaner.
So what is our thought is to create a globally moderated forum that's desperately needed to bring people together, unite, stand for projects for the common good, and work diligently for a better and more peaceful world. The Blue Pella, the One World Blue Good Network, the Social Network for Social Change, in place for unity and peace, will do just that. This network does have the power and potential
Oh,
to
absolutely.
transform the human condition
Absolutely.
if used when used properly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will eventually, you know, but,
See,
you know,
things like this should catch on.
and they will, but it takes time. I mean, you know, Facebook didn't just blow up overnight, you know. It really didn't. I mean, people think it did, but it didn't. I mean, MySpace was top dog there for about 5-6 years, you know. And then eventually, kind of, I don't know why people started migrating to Facebook, because Facebook looked like ass. But whatever.
It still does.
It does. It's boring. It's just everybody's site look exact like MySpace. We talk about this all the time. I love MySpace. You
Old
could
MySpace
personalize
was
it.
awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like
Now you can't do that
If I went
stuff
to your page on MySpace, I knew it was your page without even having to see your name, face, or anything. You can't do that with Facebook. So, but this is where everybody is. So, yeah, it does. I mean, it serves its purpose. Well, yeah, we were just talking about that. Like 90% of people, all they do is complain on Facebook. You know, this hurts, that hurts, this sucks, that sucks. You know, well, okay. How about why don't you just go out and try to do something about it?
Precisely. I want to mention another initiative we have too called if you pull up Pittsburgh's 50th Finest 2015.
Don't knock us off the air.
This is by
Okay, sorry.
This is by Al
You're good.
Levine.
How do I get to this?
Go to the homepage. Go to the homepage.
Okay. Homepage. Thank you.
And it says you see Pittsburgh's 50 Finest on the homepage. It's the top on the top row. Top
Pittsburgh's
initiatives.
50 finest under health.
There you go.
Okay. I got it up.
So
No
you-
pun
you
intended.
Click on this,
I just caught that.
and you'll see.
I was
this
kind
is-
of in La La Land.
This is by Al Levine.
All right.
Al Levine
I'm
is
bringing it
someone
up
you should
right
have on
now.
your show.
Oh, I will.
Al Levine.
We're Facebook buddies.
Al Levine has a Pittsburgh sports line.
Yeah.
He's
no.
created. He has
Yeah,
a
we'll
show
definitely get him.
about good sports in Pittsburgh, and he's been chosen as one of Pittsburgh's 50 finest. He's raising money for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Nice.
Is that his
goal-
picture right there?
Yes, that's it.
Yes, that's
All
Al
right.
Levine. He's known as the Talking Machine. Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and he's raising $3,000.
Ooh, he's got a video
His goal
too.
is to raise $3,000 for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for this charity for the year.
By the way, if you don't know, this top left box
It's pretty
right here.
obvious where to donate.
Yeah.
I think it is. I know.
Where it
People are
says
like,
sponsor.
people are like, I need, you know,
you
I don't
donate
know
where
where.
it says
I'm like,
sponsor, the sponsor tab, the sponsor tab.
just follow the green money sign at the top left.
Yes.
You can't miss it.
No,
I
it's
swear.
Attila and Bryan, the two things that make Blue Pella more competitive and advantageous over other crowdfunding platforms. In crowdfunding is two things. One, we have a social media platform that's built into the
Yep.
site. It's fused right in the site. So
Yep.
Kickstarter, Indiegogo, you make a campaign, people go to Facebook and Twitter to promote their causes. Now you can still do that with Blue Pella, but also,
Well, yeah, I mean-
also we have the social media platform
Yeah.
built into the site.
I would
With-
tell
on a
everybody though to
following
use
method.
everything. I mean, when you're doing,
So yes,
you know,
you bring
use
community,
everything.
You bring your community on the site itself. Make community on the site. When people click on the stand button, they stand with you in your project, stand behind you. They'll be following you in everything that you do.
You can actually if you have a friend, like let's say a friend of yours did a good cause or did something fantastic to help others, you can actually write a story about him or her. You can do that at Blue Pella, and it's sooner. Think of it like a news article. You can do that. I know I've done many of them, and I've done them with friends, and I've done them with people like Bruce Lee. You know, people who I've idolized growing up. Mel Brooks, Bruce Lee. Who else? I don't even know who else I did. I did a bunch of them, but yeah. So you have that choice.
And they can all be voted upon, which we call
Right.
the lift.
Yeah.
The lift feature is in the upper left-hand corner. If you show on the screen, it says lift. That is where everyone can vote on all the projects and profiles that they see. So we have both a voting
That's cool.
structure and a social network.
That's like giving a like
fused
on
in the
Facebook.
site.
Same
Correct.
concept. Yeah.
We have both voting structure and a social network that's fused in the site that other crowdfunding platforms do not have.
Yeah. No, it's coming together really nice, man. And I think give it a solid 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be everywhere. But it's going to take time.
I hope so.
'cause, yeah, it
I'm
will.
bringing us back up now.
I'm positive that it will. I really am. Because
I'll put this link in
let
the
me tell you, this
description,
guy,
too.
I kid you not, he works 25 hours a day. He does. He's always working. Like I get a text from him, like 2:00 in the morning, like, hey, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, you're up at like 6.
That's because you told me you're up at 2 in the morning.
I am up at 2 in the morning.
You said it's okay to text you at 2 in the
Yo,
morning.
it is. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, like, when do you sleep?
Different times.
Yeah,
Here
different
and
times.
there.
You like what's his name? Edison. Just
The
little cat
truth
naps.
is, the truth is, our developer and our graphic designer work throughout the night. They don't.
Yeah.
They work at night, not during the day. So I wake up, I go to sleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I check my emails. If there's an email, I respond to it 2, 3.
So you
4 in the
literally
morning.
catnap. I mean, that's kind of what you do.
I know. Well, I wake up and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I check my email. If there's something to send out.
Come
I
to
do.
birthday parties.
Yeah,
What's
come
that?
to a birthday party.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 2.
Or 2 at the same
Two-
time.
yeah, 2 in one.
That's how he does it.
That's right. You got a discount, 2 in 1. But
The truth is, if you want to be an entrepreneur and have your own business, it's not 9 to 5. Everyone knows
no, it's
that.
not.
It's not a 9 to 5
no,
job.
it's not.
No.
It's 5 to 9.
But you know what? But it's so much worth it. So much more worth it. And I've had, I find that people who succeed failed like a million times.
Correct.
And that's what I tell people is don't be afraid of failure. Failure is the best teacher ever. Unless you're an idiot and you keep making the same mistake over and over. But at some point, you're going to figure out.
Do you know how many times Abraham Lincoln lost before he became president?
I don't know the actual count, but I'm sure it happened more than
I don't know
once.
the exact number, but it was more than 10 times.
Yeah.
He ran for president more than 10 times.
He ran for different
Approximately?
offices.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Different
lost.
offices.
He lost more than every time he ran for an election. He lost.
I didn't know that.
Well, he was a very
You can look
big
it
and
up.
awkward
You can look it
guy.
out. Yeah,
He was just an awkward-looking man. He was like 6'6", freaking looked just like a freak. You know what I mean?
Abraham. Yeah. And most inventors failed hundreds
Of
of
course.
times before they ever.
Look, Thomas Edison failed stealing people's technology so many times before he was finally able to steal them. So, I hate Edison. I really do. I'm not a fan of Thomas Edison. I could use a beer.
Would you?
Yes, please.
What are you not?
Just a Sam Adams, whatever kind. I'm not picky. Thank you. Would you like something to drink, Bela? A White Russian? Is that what you're drinking? You want a White Russian? All right, get your wife lit, Joel.
Ooh, I'm not the only one. I feel so much better now.
Say what?
Where's the Sam
In the fridge, bottom shelf.
She needs to talk into the microphone. I can't hear her.
Um,
These are great noise.
Yeah,
canceling.
anyway, so the bottom line is people fail, man.
it
Don't be
is-
afraid of
it
failure.
It's not a
you
9
know?
to 5 job.
No.
And also I did just graduate with a master's in public policy manager from also GISPIA, the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs at the University of Pittsburgh in December. It was
Nice.
it was a wonderful program. I recommend it to anyone. I had a great experience there. I learned a lot. The professors are great. And just as I graduated, we launched this project.
So
and,
how-
and it was a process that took 4 years of research, design, having the meetings, and building this project. Just to build alone took over almost 2 years of us meeting on regular basis, and having meetings and having the development underway.
So how do you go about getting sponsors? Like, do we do advertisements?
We're working towards releasing a magazine.
Okay.
Which we will have about 5,000 copies.
And
a
when
little
is
over
that?
5,000. It'll be connected to all the top spotlights and top initiatives
Mm-hmm.
on the network. So we at some point intend to release a magazine. It's a 24-page magazine, and in that magazine we'll have advertisements for different sponsors.
Okay.
And eventually we're going to advertise on the site as well.
On the site as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, if you want to know what the fees are for crowdfunding on the site, the way part of the way we're profitable. We do take transaction costs like any other
But everybody does-
any other
does that.
crowdfunding site.
Yeah.
So it's 3.5% for a nonprofit organization, plus the credit card processing fee, which is 2.9%, which is through WePay. The payment processor is called WePay.
Yeah.
And then if you're for-profit venture, not nonprofit, it is 5%.
Yeah.
So you're either 3.5% or 5%
5%.
plus the 2.9%.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, everybody does the same thing. It doesn't matter if you use Indiegogo or
Correct. Indiegogo is
Kickstarter or whatever.
between 4 to 7%.
yeah,
Kickstarter's-
GoFundMe. They all do the same thing.
Kickstarter's 5%. Now, one thing about Kickstarter that a lot of people don't like is that
There are
on-
many
on
things about
Kick- on
Kickstarter I
Kicks-
don't
on
like.
Kickstarter. And I don't want to knock Kickstarter.
No,
but-
I'm not knocking it, but there are things on it that I
Kickstarter,
don't like.
you have to raise the full amount of funds, or you don't get the funding.
Right. Not only that, but you have to put in like 1 week, 1 month, whatever it is, and if you don't reach it, then you don't get it.
You don't get the funding.
And
correct.
you don't. That's not the case with Blue
That's not the
Pella.
case with Blue Pella. No.
No.
On Blue Pella, you can crowdfund over a period of time. You can set a goal.
You actually don't even have to set
You
a
don't
time.
have to set a goal. You don't have to
Yeah.
set a time. It can be over a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a set time. Nonprofits can raise money over a period of time. If you're a business, you can raise money. You can set a goal. You can make the time frame if you want. You can say I want to do it in 90 days, or you can leave it open.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's just that I don't see any reason not to use Blue Pella. Again, though, this isn't just me wearing the hat saying this. But seriously, I mean, there's a reason I hooked up with these guys. They got their shit together. You know what I mean? And like I said, Joel works harder than just about anybody I know. He really does. So
Thank you.
I appreciate that as a board member. I feel so important. No,
I'll
but
be
it is-
important one day.
That's for
When I'm
one day.
47.
Well, that's what it takes. I'm
takes-
still not
it
important.
takes being
I didn't say
47.
I am important. I said I feel important. There's a difference.
So it's been great being here,
Absolutely. Love having you.
and thank you very much.
Yes. Much
Please.
success, please,
Thank
especially
you.
now that I got money riding on it.
All right, so please go to bluepella.com, www.blupela, bluepella.com.
Can we type that up?
I'll put that
the link
right
up.
up on the screen.
Okay,
I
cool.
have the links for the.
If you also go to oneworldblue.com, it takes you to the same place because One World Blue is a corporation. We actually do own many domain names, so a lot of the branding, like Planet Sanctuary, Light of Culture, Overture to Peace.
They all have their own.
We all own those domain names. We own about over 50 domain names of the One World Blue Corporation.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Excellent. This has to be the most casual show we've done yet. Drinking beer.
Yes. I like this show.
Oh, Bela? Just put it right there.
I also.
Oh, there she goes. There she goes. She's right over there.
I also had a
Dawn.
idea.
She's right there.
What you can do for that long intermission that we had, you can just put up an annotation that said skip to this part of the video so you don't have to go and edit
Yeah,
it.
that could be done. Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we actually had Gabe on here. A couple of weeks ago.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
With Gabe was also. I don't know where he was supposed to be here today. He said he was coming. He and Jennifer. But a no show.
bluepella.com.
You know, that's the thing. My birthday always falls on like Memorial Day weekend, so it's always tough. You know, and I thought for sure this year will be different because I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's one more, like the 23rd, so you still have the 30th and 31st.
Right.
No, they still moved it to my birthday. Sucks.
Well, now it's nice and giant on the screen, so it's right
That
in
is
front of
big.
Attila's face.
And it's so big that I'm like, I had to look. Like, is that spelled right?
You can duck under it. Actually, it's right there, so yeah, I made sure it's.
L.A. Look,
spelled
I'm by
right.
L.A.
Yeah.
I love L.A.
Wait,
We
put,
love it.
put your eye right here. Uh-oh.
Ah, the Illuminati right there.
The show has turned into something totally different.
Well, it is what it is, right? We just have a good time. All right, so
All right, Attila,
cool.
Bryan, thank you.
thanks for coming on. Enjoy yourself. Did you eat?
Happy
Did you guys
birthday.
eat anything?
I'm gonna have a drink.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I love it. All right, grab something to eat too, man.